David had been given a special job. A big freight train was going to a rail yard far away, but he was the only engine available to take it. He was very excited and enjoyed the long run. He liked exploring unfamiliar lines and meeting new engines along the way. At last, he reached his destination. He was filling up on coal and water when he heard a whistle that sounded just like his own. He stared in surprise as another engine puffed up next to him. She looked just like David, except she was painted silver and gold, like a passenger engine. "Hello, Davy," she said teasingly. "It's nice to see you again." Hello, Hannah." "What's the matter? Haven't you come to visit your big sister?" "Actually, I was assigned to bring a special freight train here." "A freight train? What's so special about it?" David sighed. He'd argued with Hannah a long time ago about freight trains. "Look at my paint. It means I'm special." "How? It's only paint." "It's silver and gold paint. Only passenger engines have silver and gold paint." "But there are lots of passenger engines, just like there are a lot of freight engines." "You wouldn't understand. Freight engines don't have prestige." "What does that mean?" "It means I'll always be pulling special passenger trains, while you'll have to settle for freight cars." "What's wrong with that?" "They're filthy. You'll be covered in dirt and soot. Thankfully, I have these smoke lifters on my sides to keep me clean and shiny." "They look silly. They're like elephant's ears." Hannah hadn't liked that, and they argued about freight trains, passenger trains, and what the word prestige meant for the rest of that night. David didn't want to argue again, so he said, "Never mind. I'll be here a few more days to help with work. If you like, we can catch up then." And so the two engines went to work. Hannah took her passengers in the mornings and didn't return until the late evening. When she backed into the roundhouse, she saw David and giggled. "You look filthy," she teased. "I told you that would happen when you pulled dirty freight cars all day. Meanwhile, I'm still shiny and clean." "Oh, elephant ears," he teased back. On the last day of David's visit, the firelighter lit his fire, but he had bad news for Hannah. "I'm afraid you'll have to stay here today. Your parts are worn, so you won't be able to pull your trains until they're repaired." Hannah was frantic. "But the only other passenger engine is a long ways away. Who will pull it from here?" "There's always a diesel." "No, not a diesel." Then she got an idea. "David, could you do it?" "What, me? What about my paint? I'm just a freight engine after all." "I'm sorry, David. I didn't mean it. You're a really useful engine, too." But David didn't agree just yet. "I'll do it, if you admit that a paint scheme isn't what makes an engine special." "Deal." And then, with that out of the way, David excitedly agreed to pull the train. He backed on, and the passengers remarked how nice it was to see another engine for a change. Then they all boarded, and David steamed away. It was not like a freight train at all. The coaches rolled along smoothly, humming in tune with him. Come along, he sang. We're coming, they said back. David went as fast as he could, flying through the countryside until he arrived at the next station, where a replacement engine took charge of the train. He returned that afternoon, tired but triumphant. Hannah was very glad to see him. "Thank you so much for helping me," she said. "And my passengers, too." "That's all right. It was fun. I'd love to do it again sometime. But I have to leave tomorrow. There's lots to be done on my own line." "Maybe I'll come and visit you one day," Hannah said. "I'd like that," David replied. The next morning, David left. He couldn't wait to tell Ed and all his friends about his big journey. When he arrived, he found that something had happened while he was gone. But that's a story for another time.